Welcome, everyone, to the Better Love Movement podcast, where you will finally learn how to intentionally do dating and relationships right. My name is Anita Stoudmire, and I'm a licensed professional therapist and your personal love mentor. I've worked with thousands of singles and couples, giving them the skills needed to attract and keep the amazing love they desire. It's my heart's work to help people to get the skills needed to not only become the very best versions of themselves, but to help them grow and evolve emotionally and relationally. You can absolutely have the romantic relationship of your dreams. Come and let me show you how. Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Better Love Movement podcast. So I am really excited about today's episode, as I was asked about 2 months ago to do this episode by a follower. And it has taken me this long to kind of work it in to the cycle of episodes, but we're finally here. We're finally here. So we are in episode 136. It is entitled Online Dating Tips for Classy Feminine Women Only. All right. So I know that a lot of you over this last 18, 19 months, especially since the beginning of the pandemic, you have had to utilize online dating because what else were you to do? A lot of folks weren't going out. A lot of places were closed and shut down. Countries were shut down and whole cities were shut down. And, what were you to do to meet people? And so a lot of you turned to online dating, especially if you were like me. You're not a huge fan of online dating or online dating apps. But, if you've gone that long, and, you're used to dating, you're used to meeting men and going out on dates, you were like, well, I guess I got to try this. So one of the things that I've always talked with my feminine ladies about, my clients, is even though my stance on online dating has not really changed much over all this time that I've been working with folks and talking to folks as a dating and relationship coach, I do believe that it is the way in which you can practice your skills. I will always say that even if you don't find your husband there, even if, you don't find the love of your life there, what you will get is lots and lots of experience using your feminine energy skills. And ladies, I cannot say this enough. I'm going to say it again. It's probably going to be written on my tombstone. You need practice. You need practice. A lot of you all are not having as good a results as you could be having because you're not getting practice. You are going long periods of time without talking to men, without dating, without talking to them over the phone or through text. And so when you do, you either try to put the skills in practice and it sounds very cryptic or it sounds awkward. You sound awkward, you sound like you're trying to follow a script. It doesn't sound authentic. It doesn't sound real. I worked with a client just this past weekend, and she was reading me some of the texts that she was sending to a gentleman that she was interested in through a dating app. And it sounded so cryptic and awkward. And, there was nothing about it that sounded real. And I'm like, yeah, this guy's, probably not going to respond well because it just doesn't sound authentic. So you need practice. You need practice. And dare I say it, how are you going to get practice? You're going to get practice going on dates with men. You're going to get practice talking on the phone with men, texting men, FaceTiming with men. And, okay, here comes the part you don't want to hear. I want you to do it with men that you are not necessarily doing backward flips attracted to, right? I want you to do it with men who don't necessarily fit all of the qualifiers that you have. So if you want someone 6 foot or above, I want you to give that guy who's 5'9" a shot, 5'10". If you want someone who's I don't know. I'm trying to think of some of my qualifiers, people who are a little outside of your qualifiers because you need practice. You need practice. And even if you know it's not going anywhere, okay, this isn't going anywhere because this guy falls out of my qualifiers for what I want and need. But take the practice. You need lots of practice for this to flow, for it to feel genuine and good, for you to see that it actually works. You need to practice the skills. And so this particular client, she's only interacting with men that she finds, an 8 or above, right? She finds super attractive, an 8 or above. Oh, everything about his profile screams he could be my husband. No, those are not the men you want to start using the skills on because you're not good at it. You're not good at it. And the fact that you have such a high level of attraction, you're going to miss things. You're going to mess up. You're going to trip over your words. You're going to, it's not going to flow. So you've got to practice, preferably on men that you're like, oh, well, whether this works out or not, I could care less. Like, those are the men that I have been practicing on for over 20 years. Men that it does not matter one way or another what the outcome of this is. But that's how you're going to get good at the skills. You've got to practice. And one of the fastest ways to practice is going online. So while the average woman may not attract a whole lot of men just coming up to her in the grocery store and coming up to her at the gas pump and coming up to her at the post office and coming up to her at the mall, the average woman may not get a whole lot of men just coming up to her and approaching her. Dating apps is a great way to get practice, right? You're going to get lots of men that are going to see your pictures, may read your profile, and they are going to reach out to you. I have been on Match.com, I guess about 3 months now, and the average amount of men that reach out to me is probably about 5 a day. So probably about 4 to 5 men a day over the last 3 months. So that's a lot of men to practice on. That's a lot of men to practice engaging with. Okay, so here's one of my qualifiers. I just thought about one. One of my disqualifiers, I should say, is distance. So I have on my profile that if you're more than 50 miles away from me, we're probably not a good fit. And that's because I am interested in going on in-person dates. I'm not interested in just talking over the phone. I'm not interested in texting, being a pen pal. I'm not interested in that. And so that's one of the qualifiers that I put on my profile. However, if you want to get practice, you want to go ahead and engage this man through the telephone, through FaceTime, because you need practice. Now, he's 200 miles away. This probably isn't going to become anything. You're probably not going to regularly date each other or date each other at all. But you'll get practice talking over the telephone. You'll get practice in FaceTime. You'll get some practice. So that would be someone that I would use for practice. I would say, okay, this guy's 150 miles away. It's unlikely that we'll ever go on a date. I'm definitely not going to him. And let me just practice. Let me practice my skills. Let me see if we have some things in common. Practice talking over the phone. And doing FaceTime. And remember, ladies, I want you to lean heavily on talking over the phone or utilizing FaceTime. You are not going to get to know these men sincerely over a dating app. You are not going to get to know these men sincerely through text message. So I usually give a man about a week through the dating app to say, hey, let's talk over the phone, or, texting has been really hard, on me, and let's talk over the phone. He has about a week. After that, I don't continue to engage him through the app. I just unmatch and I move on. This is not someone who's interested in me, interested in meeting me anytime soon, or someone who just wants a text buddy. So it's about 7 days. I think the longest I gave a man was 10 days. If they do not ask for your number or say, hey, would you mind talking over the phone, something to that extent, just unmatch and move forward. This is not someone who's truly excited to get to know you. But if that does happen within the 7 to 10 days, give him your preferably Google Voice number That's what I give, is the Google Voice number. And then he will probably reach out again via text just to see if the number is real. And you will respond, and you can respond via text. And then you can say, oh, I'm usually available evenings after 7. And then you're going to see if he calls. So you're letting him know what your schedule is, and you'll see if he calls. But when we're getting to know men, when we're practicing our skills, we've got to really master speaking over the phone and doing FaceTime. And I know a lot of ladies feel a way about FaceTime. I just don't understand this. What is it about FaceTime that you all shy away from, or a Zoom call? You should be able to see that man on a screen, moving around, talking to you, and he should be able to see you in the same way. So a lot of women, oh, I hate FaceTime. Oh, I hate Zoom. And I'm like, why? Put your face on, do your hair, put on some earrings. I mean, to me, there's still a whole lot you don't have to do. I know there's times, I don't mean to be weird, but there's times where I haven't showered. But I, put on my makeupless makeup face and make sure my hair is done. So I'm not showered. I don't have on perfume or any of the stuff I normally have for a real life in-person date. Or maybe I have my pajama pants from the waist down. But to me, there's less effort in a Zoom call or a FaceTime than there is on an actual date. So I'm really confused about this. Oh, I don't want to do Zoom. I don't want to do FaceTime. I just don't understand that. You're going to schedule it, and you're going to prepare for it, and you're going to do it. And have that conversation with you and he in front of a camera, talking to each other, looking at each other, smiling. You can see inflections in the person. You can read body language. That is crucial. Please don't skip that step. Do not skip that step, okay? All right, so I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to give you all some of my best tips. I'm going to read to you one of my dating profiles that I have up right now on Match.com, just to give you some thoughts and ideas. And I'll preface it by saying my Match.com dating profile is actually much longer than I encourage you to write. But there's a little bit of a different level of men on Match.com. So I stretched in what I wrote in my profile because I felt like that was the one place I could do that. Okay, but I don't normally suggest that you write a profile this long, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. All right, first things first, men are visual creatures. You all should know that by now. That should be burned in your brain. That is why a classy feminine woman is going to look her best. She's going to look her best most of the time. And I would say, 75% of the time, 80% of the time, you're going to look your best. There's those occasions where the man you're dating may see you, without your makeup, or he may see you with your hair messed up, or he may see you first thing in the morning, or, there may be times where he's going to see you and you're not necessarily looking your best. But for the most part, look your best. And in that 75-80% of the time that you're looking your best, take amazing pictures. So 3 to 6 pictures. No less than 3. I would probably say no less than 4. But I want you to put as many pictures as the app will allow. 3 to 6. If it'll allow more, put more. Okay? Pictures are important. 2 of those pictures are going to be full body. So from head to toe. One of those pictures can be what I call quarter body. So maybe from your knees up or from your thighs up. And the rest can be from your shoulders up or a headshot. Okay, but pictures are incredibly important. Honestly, a lot of men that I've spoken with, they say 70% of the reason why I respond to a woman is pictures. Okay, we just have to be honest about that. Men they want to see something that looks good. They want to be excited about what they see. They want to feel good about what they see. So your pictures are crucial. Some of my clients have had professional pictures taken. I've had professional pictures taken that are on my profile. But to be honest with you, all of that's not necessary. I do believe it's worth having a friend, a family member, your child, have someone else take the picture. I do believe it is important to edit the picture. So if you have an app like Facetune or Cam Perfect, edit the picture and not edit the picture to the point where, you're unrecognizable. Not that. Okay. So I don't do that. I edit the picture, like soften areas. I may, make some colors in the picture pop. That's it. I'm not making it so that I'm unrecognizable. I'm not putting filters on it to, the eyelash filter, the lipstick filter. No, not that. It should be what you really look like, but the softer, sweeter, simpler you. So it should not be unrecognizable. But yes, edit the picture, soften certain areas. Don't use these, apps where you're making your body look totally different, because again, I want you to be real. I want you to be your authentic self because I believe your authentic self is great. Okay. And you've got to believe that, and he will believe that. Okay. The second thing is I want you to smile. Smile in your pictures. Most of your pictures should be of you smiling. That is what I get the most compliments on. Men saying, "Oh my gosh, that smile. Oh, I just fell in love with that smile. You have the most beautiful smile." That is, honest to gosh, that is what masculine men love. They want to see a beautiful feminine woman look happy. Okay, so that is incredibly crucial. Smile in your pictures, have fun, post pictures of you doing something you love, and that's fun. So, so, so important. All right, here's something I want you to take note of. Do not, and I mean do not, post pictures of you with your children. No, 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 no. Do not do that. I can go into thousands of reasons why you should not do that. Here's the number one reason. This is a dating app. This app is for adults. And at no point should anyone under the age of 18 have their picture on a dating app for adults. Okay, you can put in your profile if you have children. You can even mention that on the first phone call or the first date. Do not post pictures of you with your children. It is completely unnecessary and, in my opinion, inappropriate. Okay, if you have a pet, sure, knock yourself out, just not your children. The second thing I'm going to emphasize, and if you've been listening to my platform for any length of time, you know how I feel about this. You will not post any pictures with your backside to the camera. Classy feminine women do not advertise their bodies. They do not lead with their bodies. They do not advertise sex or any of the sort. It's assumed. It's assumed that a healthy masculine man will want to make love to you at some point. That is assumed. That's if you have a picture of you, covered from head to toe, or if you have on a bathing suit or what have you. That is assumed that that's what he's going to want. So we don't need to overtly advertise that. And even if that's what you want, you don't need to overtly advertise that. So there are no backside to the camera, behind pictures with you looking over your shoulder. No, 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 no. Classy feminine women do not post those pictures. You will also not post any pictures of you in revealing clothing. So revealing clothing, bathing suits, two-piece bathing suits, again, save it. I want you to save it for when you actually know this man. Save it for when this man actually has feelings for you. Save it for when he's in love with you. Save it for your husband, but save it. Okay? My reason being for that I'm not going to post pictures of me in revealing clothing, a bathing suit, a two-piece bathing suit, my cleavage showing. Please avoid the cleavage shots where you are, the camera is high above you and you're looking up at the camera and he's looking down at your cleavage. No, 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 no. Classy feminine women do not post those pictures on dating apps. Not necessary. Again, you are giving away free sensual and sexual content to a man who's a stranger. And let me tell you, ladies, and I've actually asked several men about this. This is going to kind of freak you out, but I knew there was a reason why men were going on these dating apps and they were scrolling and they would maybe message or maybe put a heart on your picture, but you never really talked to them. You never really met them. You never dated them. I was like, what is that about? There's like a large percentage of men doing this. What is going on here? Come to find out, there are some men, a whole lot of men, who are on dating apps simply to look at women's pictures. That's it. They have no interest in dating. A lot of them are married or in relationships. They simply go on there to look at women's pictures. They want to look at the sexy pictures. They want to look at the regular old pictures. They just want to look at real women's pictures because most of the women on these apps are real women. They're not like OnlyFans women or porn stars. They're just real women. And ladies, when you are dressed revealing and seductive, when you're showing your cleavage, when you have your backside to the camera, you might as well get an OnlyFans account because you're giving away free sexual and sensual content to a bunch of strange men. And trust me, there's a whole percentage of men that are on dating apps just for that. Like that's all they're there for. It's free sensual and sexual content that they are consuming. Some of these men even admitted to me, oh yeah, I fantasize. I use the pictures to fantasize. And I'm thinking, what? What is going on here? And we're going to get to those men who are on the app who are not paid members. That's predominantly who that is. Men who are on the free part of the app. They're not paid members. They either cannot message you. They can't respond to messages. No. Do not give these men free content. So if you are a classy feminine woman, if you've been following me for any length of time and you want to maintain your healthy femininity, we are not giving away free sexual and sensual content. So nothing too tight, nothing too revealing, no cleavage shots, no behind to the camera shots, none of that, please. Okay? All right. Your written part of your profile will focus on who are you? Okay? Use adjectives to describe yourself. Happy-go-lucky, fun, feminine adjectives, okay? What's important to you, right? What is really important to you? You're going to speak to that. What type of relationship are you looking for? Now, ladies, you know me. It's not 100% about, oh, I need a specific type of man. I want you to focus on the relationship you want to have. What does that relationship feel like? How are you treated in that relationship? That's actually most important. That's more important than the specific man that you pick, even though you're going to pick a man of high character, high moral character. But really focus on the type of relationship you want to have. You're going to give a specific name to that relationship, like long-term relationship, long-term commitment, or companionship, or marriage. If you're looking for something more casual, if you're looking for like a pen pal, a text buddy, a friend, be specific about what you're looking for. Okay? Please, ladies, avoid writing anything in your profile about your work, your degrees, your accomplishments. This is not a resume. You are not opening a business with this person. This is a romantic connection. This is about a love connection. So I want you to pass on that. There will be plenty of time to discuss all of that. And there are even some apps where it does in fact ask, what do you do? What's your job, where it is, or what have you. There was a couple of prompts in a lot of the apps that I use that do ask that. Okay. So we don't need to use the profile, the free form profile section for that. We're not going to use that. I want you to please leave out the negative, the snarky, okay, the bitter, the cynical, and the pessimistic. Okay, so we are not going to put things like, if you can't be faithful, if you are dating more than one woman, if you, are, whatever that could be negative or snarky or bitter. If you lie, if you cheat, no, just leave all of that out. For this, we are focused more on what we want than what we don't want. We're going to have plenty of time to dissect for what we don't want. We're going to do that in phone calls, in texts, and in FaceTimes and on dates. We are not going to use our valuable profile space to shout out to the world how angry or bitter we are or what we don't want. Nope. Save it. Okay. Let's see what else I have on here. Be authentic. Be your authentic self. Okay. So we're not going to pretend to be something we're not. Be who you are. I am a little bit of a nerd. I am a little bit of an intellect. I am a little bit of the sexual and the sensual. I am an animal lover. I am sweet and feminine and soft and vulnerable. Like there's so many parts to Anita. And so I am willing to kind of let that shine through in my profile. Okay, so let that shine through in your profile, whatever little kind of quirky things you got going on. And, the profile is going to speak to who you are. And you're going to feel good about that, showing up as your authentic self. I want men to know what they're going to get for the long haul, right? This is what you can expect for the long haul. Okay, please check your grammar and your spelling. I know I'm a bit of a grammar and a spelling snob, and I will even say this. There have been profiles written by men that the profile, grammar and spelling have turned me off so much that I don't swipe right. Even if the gentleman meets my qualifiers, he seems like an attractive gentleman. But if there are too many spelling errors or grammatical errors, I've found myself a little turned off by that. And again, there's a couple of gentlemen that maybe there was one or two and I could overlook it. But if the entire thing is like I could barely read it, I pretty much swipe left. So I want you to do the same. Check your spelling, check your grammar. It's not hard to do. You can write your profile in Word and you can just run spell check. That's it. Okay. Here's another tip that a lot of people don't realize. I want you to write your profile when you're happy and hopeful. So you're having a great day. You're feeling like, wow, I think I'm ready to get back out there. I think I'm ready to date again. That's the best time to write your profile. You're happy and you're hopeful. Okay. And you can even utilize someone like me to help you write your profile. There is a service at www.betterlovemovement.com, and it is the online dating profile review, but I can assist you with choosing your pictures, writing your profile, and I'm going to make sure that you are in the best state possible in which to do this. You are happy and you are hopeful. Okay. Also, keeping your bio relatively short, and I'm about to go against this actual thing that I'm telling you because my Match.com profile is actually way longer than I would normally write, but I'm going to explain the reason for that, okay? But keeping your bio relatively short because most men don't read. Right? That's not a cut against men. It is what it is. Men are more visual than readers. We will read. I had a gentleman who had a very long bio that I read the entire thing. And then when he reached out to me, he messaged like this short story about what would happen if we met each other. I read the entire thing. And it was very, very long. And I read the entire thing. I find that most women are more apt to read than men. Because remember, women choose with their ears, men choose with their eyes. So keep your bio relatively short. We'll talk a little bit about how we can do that, but I'm going to read you one or two of my bios, and one of them is longer. But there was a science behind that, and it was based on the app that I was using. Okay. And then the other thing is a lot of apps have prompts. They have these prompts. I know the Hinge app has prompts. Bumble, I think they have prompts. Match.com even has some prompts. But pick prompts that can kind of get you going. That'll help you to keep the information short and sweet. So you can pick prompts depending on the apps that you're using. So right now, the 3 apps that I am utilizing are Match.com, I'm utilizing Hinge, and I'm utilizing Bumble. And you all know my theory on the dating app is once your profile is up, you never take it down. You never take it down. I never even snooze it. Like some of the apps have where you could snooze or hide your profile. I never even do that. If I don't look at it, I don't look at it. But I never take my profile down. I never snooze it or hide it because I want to make sure that energetically I am sending a consistent signal out there that I am open and available. I am open and receptive to meeting the right person. And when you get in this habit of you put it up, you get frustrated, you take it down. You put it up, you get frustrated, you take it down. You're sending mixed messages. You're sending a mixed message to the universe that, yeah, I want to meet somebody. No, I don't want to meet anybody. Yeah, I want to meet somebody. No, I don't want to meet anybody. You have to be consistent in your message and your energy. I am open and receptive to meeting someone. Okay. If you are listening to this episode on my website, there are some pictures that I have utilized on my apps. So go there and check it out if you want some great examples of some really good pictures to put on your dating app. And then I am going to read to you now the profile from my Match.com dating profile. Okay. It's under in their own words. So this is where you can just free form, write whatever it is you want to write to your potential suitors. Okay, mine says, "Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for viewing my profile and hopefully reading this until the end. I am a divorced mother of 3 young adults. My last 2 went off to college in August, and I am now able to get to know new people. I enjoy gardening, cooking, and baking, reading, music, movies, and podcasts. I am a lifelong learner, introverted by nature, MBTI INFJ, but I can be outgoing and charming when the situation calls for it. I am a traditional feminine woman in search of her masculine opposite. The man who is the best fit for me is strong, mature, decisive, and consistent. He has a purpose for his life and is actively pursuing it. He is healthy, emotionally and physically, and fit. Character is of the utmost importance to me. Qualities like agreeableness, kindness, and empathy go a long way. I need a man who is generous, funny, intellectual, and stable. A man with a high moral code and a relationship with God is very attractive to me. If you are looking for an egalitarian relationship, then I might not be the best fit for you. If you live more than 50 miles away, then please pass me by. It is my intention to date or be courted by a man in person, as quality time is my love language. I enjoyed being married. However, I made a hasty decision when choosing my first husband. I'm better prepared now to be a wife again one day, and that is the relationship I am ultimately seeking. Thank you for taking the time to read this. If I do not respond, it is because we are not a match based on your profile. Please don't be offended and don't take it personal." All right, so that is my profile on Match.com. And there was some method to that madness because I do not normally write a profile that long. But based on the experience that I've had with Match.com over the last 2 or 3 months, I have seen that there are gentlemen on there, that are of a higher caliber. Gentlemen who are educated, gentlemen who read, like they've even mentioned in some of their profiles, books that they're reading or podcasts that they're listening to. And those type of men usually do put an equal weight on pictures as well as what the person writes. So that is why I made my profile a little bit longer on Match.com, because I was getting some really, really great feedback from what I wrote and from my pictures. It also gave the men on there a chance to speak to something in my profile. So one of the things that let me see if I can get back to it really quickly. So when I talked about, if you want an egalitarian relationship, ladies, egalitarian is a code word for 50-50. If you want a 50-50 relationship, if you want an equal relationship, then I may not be the woman for you. And as you all well know, That is not me. I want an equitable relationship. I want a provider relationship. I want a man who is generous. That's why I put that word in there. I want a man who has no issues or problems with providing for the woman in his life and does not seek a 50-50 type of relationship or, well, what do we both bring to the table? Not interested. So an educated man will know what that word means. And for everyone else, maybe they'll have to look up that word. But I also put in there, I'm a traditional feminine woman in search of her masculine opposite. So again, I made it very clear what I'm bringing and what I'm receiving. So I am a traditional feminine woman looking for my opposite in a masculine man. Okay. Another thing I did, and I recently changed this because I was getting quite a few matches that were way out of my area. So I think about 80% of the men that were responding, they were way out of my area, 80, 90 miles away. And I am interested in going on dates. I am not interested in having a long distance relationship. I've talked at length about this. I, have no interest at all in long distance relationships. I think there are more problems. They're more bad than good. So that's not something I'm interested in personally. If you want to attempt that, do so at your own risk. I have a podcast episode about that. I just don't think that's the way to go, but do so at your own risk. So I put that in there. If you live more than 50 miles away, please pass me by. And then I also put in there, if I do not respond, it is because we are not a match based on your profile. I had a lot of men reaching out that were not a fit. They were not a good fit for me. They smoked, they used marijuana, they had young children, lots of things in their profile, or they were agnostic or atheists. I was like, not a good fit, not a good fit. The reason why I put that in there, though, is I don't have the time or the energy to respond to every message that I get. Because again, about five messages a day. That's what I'm getting. I'm averaging about 5 messages a day on Match.com, and I just don't have that kind of time to go on the app every day to politely, let men know, oh, thank you for your interest, but we're not a match. I just don't have time for that. So that's why I put that in my profile, that if you do not hear back from me, it's because we are not a match. And I did that in the sweetest, most feminine way I could. And let me just say this, ladies, because there are a lot of wounded masculine men out there. There have been quite a few men who, when I don't respond and I, X them out, they will come back again and again. I had one gentleman come back 3 times, and the third time he said blocked. And I was like, sir, thank you. Thank you for blocking me because I'm not going to respond. I'm not interested. So just be wary. There are some wounded masculine men on these apps. There are some feminine energy men on these apps. There have been some instances where I have matched with several men. They have not reached out. They have not made that initial step to try to contact me, and I unmatch. They have 7 to 10 days to try to make some sort of initial contact, and if they don't, I unmatch. But that exists. Even on the dating apps, there are a lot of men on there for all the wrong reasons. You all know my percentages when it comes to these dating apps. There's really only about 5% of men on dating apps that are viable. 5%. That means 95% of the men on there are non-viable for one reason or another. So you can use the other 95% to attempt to practice, which I definitely recommend if you can. Now, if they make it difficult, like if you find that, wow, I'm trying to practice with this gentleman, I'm trying to have conversation and just practice my skills, and they're making it difficult to even do that, then just unmatch. Just unmatch. Don't try to use potentials for practice and then find yourself getting so turned off, so frustrated that you just abandon the entire app. So you have to be very careful about that. Know what your limitations are when it comes to that. Okay? I'm going to read you one more. Let's see. We're going to go to Hinge. And The Hinge app does give some prompts. So one of the prompts was something that's non-negotiable for me is, and my answer was addictions of any kind: pornography, alcohol, illicit drugs, including marijuana, gambling, cigarettes, cigars, etc. Okay. So that was one of the prompts. Another prompt, a life goal of mine, and I put to be a wife again one day. Now, ladies, can I be honest? Not everyone is going to have the boldness. Not everyone is going to have the courage to actually post that in their profile. And I get it. I 100% get it that, a lot of women have said, oh my gosh, like that, I would not feel comfortable posting that. I would not feel comfortable talking about that, and I asked them, so what's your ultimate goal? And they're like, well, I'd like to get married. I'm at that age where I'm ready to get married. I'm ready to have children. Okay, but you've got to own it. You've got to own it. You're not going to get what you want if you don't own it, if you don't feel it in every fiber of your being, and you're not afraid to tell people. I am not afraid to tell men that is what I'm looking for. That's my ultimate goal, to be a wife again one day. I may not be your wife, but that's where I'm headed. Like, that's all I know how to be. I don't believe in the girlfriend thing anymore. I have abandoned that completely. I'm not doing the girlfriend thing. I'm doing the fiance and the wife thing. So I've had a couple men reach out to me about that, and they've said, wow, I'm really impressed that, you were so bold as to post that you know exactly what you want. So believe it or not, okay. And this was also on Hinge. You should not go out with me if, and I put, you want an egalitarian type of relationship. # traditional gender roles. So I actually put that on there as well. I want men to know up front what they're getting. I am not going to do a 50-50 split down the middle. I am not looking for equality in a love relationship. I am looking for equity. Okay. I heard it once say in another podcast, there was a male podcast that talked about, feminism and women being so confused about 1 minute they want to be treated special and the next minute they want to be treated equal. And you can't do both, right? You can't be treated equal and then be treated special. Well, I own the fact that I want to be treated special. I want to be treated differently than anybody else. I want to be treated differently than him. Like, I own that. And I want you all to start owning that too. Okay, that you do want to be treated special and you want to be treated different. Okay, lastly, I am going to look at my Bumble profile. Much shorter. I did a much shorter about me. Hello, gentlemen. I am a divorced mother of 3 young adults. My last 2 recently left for college, and I find myself getting back out here again. I'm excited to meet new people and do adventurous things. I enjoy cooking, baking, gardening, riding my bike, reading, music, movies, and traveling. Okay, so short and sweet. I posted 6 pictures. It gave some basic info about me. I have children and don't want any more. What I'm looking for is marriage. I don't smoke. I put my zodiac sign, Aquarius. It says I'm active in the gym. I am Christian. My political views are moderate. Put my height. Favorite quality in a person, I put empathy. Okay. A non-negotiable, I put addiction of any kind. We'll get along if, I put, you are a mature, assertive, confident, decisive man. Okay. And then it has my location. So those are just some examples of what to put in your dating profile, what to avoid in your dating profile if you're going to go on this journey. And it is a journey, right? It is not a one-time event. It's not I'm going to jump on here for a couple of days or a few weeks and jump off. No, it is a journey. Finding your person is a journey. And it is one that you just can't abandon every time you get frustrated, every time you get angry, every time you get annoyed. You have to be in it for the long haul. That's how you're going to get what it is you say you want. Okay? So that's the greatest piece of advice, is your mindset is everything. You have to see it as a journey. And here's the funny thing. So while, I've met men through the app, I've also met tons of men outside of the app. Because, see, my energy is open and receptive. My energy is happy. My energy is, my life alone is amazing. And if you'd like to join it and make it super fantastic, that's even better. Like, that's the energy that I'm leading with. I love myself. I love my life. I've created this amazing life, and I'd love to share it with an even more amazing man. That's the energy you have to bring to this game of love. You have to be okay with you. You have to be feeling good. And here's the thing, ladies, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be 100% healed. I'm still on my journey of doing my work. I'm still in codependency recovery. I'm still, working on setting healthy boundaries. I'm still working on holding my standards and all that good stuff. I'm still doing all of that. And yet, I am worthy. I am deserving of a really amazing man. That's what I want you to tell yourself. But your authentic self is lovable. You are lovable today, right where you are. But if you need to do the work, get on that path as well. You can be on both of these paths. Okay? I hope that this talk we had today was helpful. This has been a long time coming. I've had so many clients that I've worked with, hundreds of women that I've worked with working on their dating profile. But just other clients through Facebook, through Instagram. Oh, you need to do one on online dating and how to make a profile and what to put in it. And okay, here it is. If you have not attempted app dating or online dating before this, I want you to accept this challenge from me. Okay? I want you to pick an app and I want you to create a dating profile. And preferably, here's the other thing I'm leaving out, and I'm going to tell you right now. I want you to pay. I want you to pay for that dating app for 1 month, 30 days, but you're never going to take your profile down. Even when the 30 days is up and your paid, subscription is up, you're going to leave your profile up. But I want you to pay for your dating app for 1 month. And I really want you to take this challenge of, okay, I'm going to utilize this for practice. I'm going to see who messages me. That's the other thing I want to tell you. I want you to let men message you. I don't want you reaching out to any men. Let's see what happens when you are in the passive state, when you are open and receptive. Let's see who reaches out to you. And the reason why I like that is because you already know this person's interested in you. When you're reaching out to him, it is a chance that you're taking. And you know what? If you think you're strong enough to keep reaching out to men, to keep messaging them and possibly getting rejected or possibly not hearing back, if you think you're strong enough for that, hey, go for it. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in engaging with men that are interested in me. I want to know that straight away. Is this man interested in me? And then I will reciprocate. Okay? But pay for the app. And I prefer that the men who are also paying, they're also paying their subscription because that's how I know they're serious. They're putting their money and their time into what they're doing. Like I said, there's a large percentage of men on these apps that do not pay because they're looking at women's pictures. They're sending these little hearts or roses because that's all they can do. They can't message. Not interested. Not interested in men that aren't serious and aren't willing to put their money where their mouth is about taking women out on dates, about actually engaging with real women in a real way. Not interested if you're not paying and you're not interested in doing that. So you'll be able to kind of figure out who's paying for a subscription and who isn't. Some men have actually been bold enough to tell me that. Oh, I got one free message to message you. I'm not paying for the subscription. Next, you're not serious. So I'm paying for the subscription and you're not? Next. Nope, just unmatch. Keep moving. You want men that are serious in their quest to find the best woman for them. All right. I hope this episode was helpful. If you have any other questions or you want to address anything down in the comments, please do so. I am happy to answer all questions that you have, or you may DM me through Facebook, through Instagram. Thank you so much for your continued listening of the podcast. Thank you for listening to this episode. And as always, stay open to love. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave me a 5-star rating and review. Your ratings and reviews help me to continue to bring you more great content. Head on over to YouTube and check out the Better Love Movement channel. There's more video content there, and you can subscribe to be notified when a new video is posted. If you have a question that you would like to have answered on the podcast or in a YouTube video, please send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can also connect with me directly on the Magnify app to have your dating and relationship questions answered. That's MAGNIFI, and it's available on iOS and Android. You get your first 5 minutes for free. So give me a call and let's chat.